I guess I should plug in the microphone. All right, let me make sure.
All right, let me put this.
Are we live? Hello, everybody. Are we live?
Is my hair messy?
292 people waiting to watch on Instagram.
Waiting for what?
So, here we are. No, we're not here yet. Come on, are we live? What's going on here? Hello, Instagram. Give me a moment. You know how disorganized I am sometimes.
Should I hold this?
Oh, I'm on the wrong page. That's why.
I don't feel so bad. That's really lovely.
Okay. So this disorganization that we have is just fantastic. So it'll. Oh, see, look, I'm just walking around. So, excuse me as I turn it up. Is it turning up?
The other side.
Excuse me as I turn it up. Very good.
I love it.
We got sound.
Woo-hoo.
All right. So as you can see, I'm not the only person here. Welcome, Time Warp Live. Yay. So I know a lot of you wait for this episode because every year we do it, because every year Irene Singer, who is sitting here next to me, on my left, your right, and we did this last year. So you saw both of these women last year as we were building up for the pet memorial that is happening on October 27th that she's holding up here. And it's pretty cool. You guys, if you guys don't do it in your state, and I know we get a lot of watchers in California, and I know we get a lot of watchers in New Jersey. If your state doesn't do this, talk to your vet, right?
Yeah, well, right. I mean, they may do it on a smaller scale, but this is something the husband and wife ownership of our clinics, Veterinary United, which consists of what are we, 24, 5?
23, yeah.
But something like that. Clinics all around our state is something that started 13-ish years ago. And it was Dr. Bangstall and Julie Bangstall believe from beginning until end of life, which is just as important, it's not more important, because those are the last moments you're going to forever remember. And you know, in between, it's like, you know, they come in spurts, your memories. But
absolutely.
You know, it's very important. So that's what they believe in, and we're one of the only. I think we're the only one in the state that has a true program and a true, if you want to, you know, designated people that
do the memorials.
Just do the that work with end of life on every level of anticipatory. Anticipating your pets may be older and not feeling well, till after they pass away, and even taking care of our families afterwards. And our memorial is just part of this program.
So the memorial blew me away. Okay, so those of you who are just jumping on, because I see a bunch of people are just jumping on, I'm sitting here with Irene Singer and Sherry Grace, and they are from Veterinarian United, and they put on, along with Faithful Companion, who you will be meeting, Brett, in a moment. Brett, right? Yep. Okay. You'll be meeting Brett in a moment. They work together tirelessly all year to put together a pet memorial. That is very similar to a human memorial. However, we're honoring our pets. And we put this on every year, or I have them on every year. This is our second year in a row, because we want to make sure that everybody understands that this is a place that you can go and you can send in photos of your pets, right? For the slideshow. We're going to be having that this year.
Right. Yes, we put it on, you know, you have to get in the next couple of days, but we put the background of every pet in every one of our clinics. As we do the program, we have that backdrop running constantly, because there are, you know, you have that many clinics, and one clinic alone, if it's a small mammal, and like lizards and reptiles or birds, whatever, there are a couple thousand, if not 3,000. I think in one of them, I think I counted them once, over 3,000. That's just one clinic. So we want to address everything.
Absolutely. And, you know, while we're on here, hi, Mom. Hi, Sherry. Thank you for joining us. Andrew, you know what? If you have pets, if you have that one dear pet you have, or the multiple pets that you have, throw the pictures up on the comments. And I will post those after the show. But throw them up on the comments and, you know, give some love to your pets on there, right?
Sure.
But, so what is your official title at Veterinarian United?
I am the sympathy coordinator, pet loss outreach director for all of our clinics.
For all 26, 28?
25.
25?
We never
In
know
the
what we're gonna be
mid-20s.
doing. Yes, mid-20s.
For all 20 of
Yes.
them, you're the grief coordinator. So
Correct. And I work with one other
explain
person.
what you do.
Okay, and I work with one other person.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Fran.
Oh, yeah, 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 I
remember
didn't
Fran?
know that.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Unfortunately, she moved to Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
but I work with her every single day. If I, she does a lot of the, like, for the memorial, the backdrop, putting all the names together, making sure all their names for the clinics who have sent them are the people's names, the family names, and the pets. She's like, unfortunately, she'll be there at the memorial, but she really truly helps me behind the scenes. So it's mostly the two of us, but then I also work with like Sherry and her team and everybody's team pretty much, because I'm at just about every place
So
to
what
make
is your
sure what
job?
they have. What I do is basically I support our doctors. Let's say we have a very sick pet that is just struggling to live, but the family is struggling to let go.
Right.
And I will never, and this is what everybody believes in. We'll never tell you what to do, but we can present, and we even have Dr. Bangstall gave us a quality of life sheet that think about these areas. Do they play like they used to, or even play in any way? Are they sleeping? Are they eating? Have they changed some habits? Is their personalities different? Do they look like they're in pain that we can't take them out of the pain?
Do they have quality of life?
Basically,
Is
yes.
this something that is taught, that you guys teach the staff, or is this something that you tell the
I actually
be?
will call the
'cause your
client. I
patient
will
is
actually,
the-
yes, I will,
Yeah.
right, the family. I
A
will
little
call
bit
the
of both.
clients. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right. Doctors have asked me to call and say, would you just, this poor lady is just struggling, and all I do is say, how you doing? I mean, it breaks my heart that they have to even think about this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so a lot of times we just talk. It's all we just talk, and I mean,
Sometimes
no
that's all it
judgments,
takes,
no
right.
judgments. This is your baby, not mine.
Right.
I don't have that same relationship. I
No,
understand.
but to be a bereavement or a grief counselor for the families when they're putting their pets down, or they're doing, whatever with the pets, that it takes a lot. And that's got to be a very, very sad, depressing.
Not really. For me, I will say for the client and the families,
Right.
heavens yes. I mean, and
How do you do it? How do you do that every day?
it's an honor. I
love
look at
that.
it.
I mean, it's the last act of love
And
that we
it's
can do for our pets, our babies, right?
Yeah.
It's a hard decision to come
It
to.
is.
And
It
we're more of a
absolutely is.
companion. We're a
and-
companionship, a friend, because sometimes, as an example, just today I was, at one of our clinics, and I was just taking them, some hearts to do their ink paw prints that we try and we give them as a gift if they would like one. It turns out she inherited 2 kitties, and this was a few years back, and as we were just talking and about her story, their story, I said, and I am absolutely in awe of you as a mom, that you can get up every morning, and it's such an honor to talk to you and to hear your story and you to share this with me, and the strength that you have is beyond remarkable, and I truly mean that, because Sherry has a daughter, I have 2, and grandkids, and she's too young for grandkids, but anyway.
And you have a few.
Yeah, I have a few. Yes, unfortunately, I'm old enough to do it. But I mean, it's those types of things, and
Right.
so that's why I truly say, because every
Well,
everyone is an honor.
I tip my hat to you, because it takes a special person to be able to do that. You as well, because you actually
Very
you are a veterinarian tech, or what is
Yep.
your position?
Yep. So I am a licensed veterinary technician, as well as a practice manager, site leader at one of our locations as well.
Okay, so you actually are the one that has to do the act
So
sometimes.
Yes, I have. Generally speaking, it's the doctors that do the actual euthanasia. Usually, us technicians will give the sedative. We like to give sedatives to our patients. It's usually to relax them, as well as a pain medication, and it just makes it a nicer process for the patient as well as the family. They're the patients are at ease with it, when they have a sedative and some pain meds on board,
It makes it easier.
It does make it easier and nicer for the
For the
families
pet
and the
and
pet.
for-
Yeah,
definitely.
100%.
And they still hear you.
Oh, of course,
Yes.
of course. They're like humans. They hear until
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I know you guys. You're probably watching this thinking, "Oh, this is sad, sad, sad."
No.
But it's not a sad thing. It's a celebration of life. So tell
Yes.
me a little bit before we get into the nuts and bolts. Tell me a little bit about the event. Like, when is it? How
It
people
is
can go? and
October
come?
the 27th, and the reason I do that is that if you all around, they're always having blessings of the animals in October.
Yep.
Because the
Feast of Saint Francis.
right, of Assisi is on the 17th, I believe it is, and so you might see blessing of the animals, and so it's like it is a blessing. I always say they're get their wings, when they have to pass away, and this is. It's always, at least we try when we,
Right.
get it in October when I can get somewhere. But in this case, this is a new place. We're doing
Oh,
it
yeah,
at
I meant
our
to
at
ask
our
you that.
hub. Yeah, we're doing
Is it at? Where is it at?
It's not at the. Usually, it was at the Clinton Township Library,
Right.
but they're redoing it. So
Is
we
it
can
going to
do-
be at Parkway?
No, it's
No.
actually going to be at our
North
corporate
of Parkway,
office. Yeah.
Garfield
Yeah.
and Canal.
Oh, we were.
Um,
Steve and I were wondering, and I'm like, well, I know Parkway's got that big area in the back. So.
Yes.
No, it's our corporate offices.
Yeah.
If you want to,
The address is on the flyer there.
Right. The
Um,
address.
And
But-
it's Sundays.
It's a Sunday from like 2 to 4.
2 to 4.
Again, it's not. We're not going to throw you out
It's
at
not-
4.
It's structured, but it's not structured.
Right.
There's
Right.
not necessarily here. This being our home office, there's not necessarily a time limit that we're stuck to. But we plan it from like 2 to 4 to give. You can bring the family. There's a QR code on the flyer that you can sign up. But you can bring pictures if you
We'll have a
want to talk
memorial
about
table.
your pet. You don't have to talk about your pet.
Right.
You can listen to others talk about their pets.
Right.
It's just a place to come
And share.
together with
And
other people that are grieving
Right.
for their lost pet, patient, loved one, and you can.
It's beautiful. I've been.
Yes.
This is my third. Will be my third year
Yes.
coming.
Right.
And we were so blown away because we lost our Lily.
Our mom.
Yeah.
Our
Lily.
Our
Steve's
Actually,
over there
it's all
too.
three of ours.
It's everybody's
yes,
Lily.
It was
Right,
Sherry's
right.
because
Yeah.
that was one of
So,
Dr. B's. Yeah.
Steve and I have cats. We have Sphinx cats, hairless cats, and I actually discovered Lily running down the walkway, running down the sidewalk behind Irene. Irene is our neighbor.
Right.
And running down the sidewalk, and I went running over like, what is this? What is that? And I picked it
Oh,
up.
he was funny.
And I picked her up and stuff. And Steve's always been allergic to cats, and so I brought her home, and it's the first pet that we had together, and it's the first pet I think he's had. Since
Yeah, I
he
don't
was a
ever.
little kid,
I've been
if
there
he
40
even-
years. I have never seen
Yeah.
a pet there.
Besides Lisa's cats.
Yeah, correct.
Correct.
Right. But not.
But they were Lisa's,
Yes. They
and
were not.
she's watching.
Yes. Hi, Lisa.
Oh yeah. And so I brought it over, and she literally, I keep saying it, she literally jumped on Steve's shoulders, and the tail wrapped around his neck, and that cat never
and he licked
lifted
his nose. He licked it.
Yeah.
Lily Pants licked
Steve?
his nose.
Do you remember that? Come over here, say hi.
Yes. I was like, it was just amazing because she just got like right in his face and was literally right here, and
She chose
licked
you,
his
huh?
nose.
She got on my
So
shoulder.
Steve is right here.
Lily
Pop in
Pants.
and say hi. Stick your head in and say
Hello.
hi. Oh,
Well,
he's
Marilyn,
right
there
there.
it is.
So
But she got on my shoulder, and
Yeah.
then she wrapped her tail around my neck,
And then went.
to the tail wrapped around my other
Yeah.
ear for balance.
and do you know that
And
cat
she
never
stayed on
left
my
her
shoulder.
arms? His arms again.
Never.
And I wiped my face. I touched her and wiped my face, and I didn't have a reaction, and we kept her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever
And,
since,
you know,
and
and
I let
then-
him. I became grandma.
Yes, you did. So we've had several cats since. We've had, Simba, who was my pride and joy, and we lost him last year.
Last
2
time,
years
2
ago.
years ago, I
2
think,
years
yes.
ago. I still am not over that.
No,
and then
we'll
we just
never get over it.
recently, well, I'm still not, I haven't learned to live with that one yet.
Yes, it's hard to work through it.
And we just recently lost Sparty, and you will see him right here,
Mm-hmm.
right behind my head, right next to Hugs. He's right here, and we'll talk to Brett here in a minute, because Faithful Companion, who we will always use, absolutely
For
always use.
They're fabulous.
For aftercare.
For
and
aftercare
meaning
service.
that, this is the Sparty's Forever Home now is behind me, and so I recommend Faithful Companion. We'll bring Brett in a second. He drove all the way from Taylor to stand
Poor
over
guy.
there.
We love you. Don't worry.
Live nearby.
Yeah.
But, do you? Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, our pets mean everything to us.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of us, and I know my mom in Las Vegas, she has her dog Purdy. That is everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Now,
That's-
some of us, that's our children.
That's
Yeah.
that's right. That's our
And-
confidant. That's our
Yes.
when we let go of our frustration. We come home and scream and yell, and they just look at us and wag their little tails,
Mhm.
and they're so excited. Or they
Yeah.
they don't care what we said. We could be telling them that you are the craziest thing in the world, or
Yep.
we don't. We're just mad at you for some reason.
I call him my kitty Xanax when I get home.
There
He
you
Right.
go.
does,
right?
actually. His
Absolutely.
kitty's Xanax.
That's
But I
right.
gotta tell you, that's why I think the sting is so sharp
Yes.
sometimes. Is because these pets are 100% innocent.
Mhm.
They listen to you. They take
Unconditional love.
everything. It's
Yeah.
unconditional.
Yeah.
You can yell, scream, hit the walls, but that cat is around your feet trying to calm you down.
Right.
Okay, here I am.
And not
they
saying a
each
word
have
about the holes you're
their
putting in
own
the wall.
bond, right?
Yes.
It's not like Lily.
Mhm.
Steve was
Right.
Lily's person.
Yeah. I was
Simba's
Simba's
person, right?
Correct.
I don't
You
know.
know.
Sparty, we were both Sparty's person, but it took a good.
It took a while.
It
because-
took a while for
Yeah,
him.
because he was at Parkway.
Right.
Sparty didn't know how to love.
Sparty
Right.
didn't know how to love when we
But
got him,
he
and
was a
by the
sweetheart.
time we lost
He learned by
him,
the end.
Oh,
Right.
he was
Right.
a lover. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, we have 3 at home, and we've got actually Peanut, which is Sparty's mother,
Yeah.
still at home. That cat is going to live to be 1 billion years old.
Honest to gosh. It's amazing.
Because Sphinx's hairless cat's lifespan is 8 to 12 years, right?
Yeah.
Standard.
So they generally have heart conditions,
Right.
And that's usually what
Mhm.
takes them
That's
out.
what took Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's what took all 3 of them.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. So
Actually, Lily threw a blood clot.
yes, but that's a
So-
heart.
It is a heart, yeah.
yeah.
It's all heart.
So,
It's all heart.
let me ask you guys something, and then I'm going to also ask Brett this in a minute.
Okay.
If you have a bunch of animals at home,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm asking specialists here, so listen. Well, you work with them all the time, so
Right,
you know, you
right.
see,
All we can do is observe.
right.
Yes.
Well, you observe cats and dogs; they have their own personality. Some
Yes.
people say
100%.
they don't. You know
Oh,
what I
no,
mean?
they do.
They do.
They, and I think our cats know who they are. They have self-awareness.
Yes.
Yeah. Cats especially. Remember,
Cats
they
have
train
swell.
us. We don't
Right,
train
right.
them.
If, like, for instance, if you have 4 cats and one of them passes away, do the others grieve?
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Yes.
what is the process, do you think? Like, do you think, how long, because I did a little research, how long do you think is a good grieving time for a cat and a dog?
So, me personally, I think there's not really an answer
There's
for
not.
this.
I mean, it depends on the
Um,
person.
It
yes.
does, yes. And it depends on their relationship that they had together, right?
Mhm.
You know, I currently have 2 dogs and a cat.
Mhm.
If something happened to the cat, I don't think either of these 2 dogs would care less
Mhm.
because they came into the house
After the fact.
after the fact
Mhm.
with an adult cat.
Mhm. And the cat would probably be happy.
Yes. Yes. If something happened to either of the dogs, the cat would be like, all right, yay, you know.
So what I've read in different aspects because I look at different
Yep.
sites and stuff because you can't go based on one.
Right. Oh, no.
Anywhere from a couple of weeks to a couple of months.
Yep.
And it could even be a couple of years depending on the person who has the pet.
And depends on
And-
the pet, right? Not
Yes.
every pet's gonna
Bond with
bond
another one,
Right.
together.
And
But-
as well as
So-
they pick up you.
Exactly. Now they did say that a cat is quicker than a dog. I've read on many sites because dogs
See,
can.
I
I've
would go the
actually.
opposite.
I think I
Well,
would too.
I actually read in
Really?
several sites that
Yeah.
dogs can actually die from broken hearts.
Yeah, oh yeah, because an underlying disease,
Mhm.
because that's a stressor, right?
Yep.
It's
Whereas
a stressor where
cats can hide it more, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
right until it really rears its ugly
Right.
head, and then it's like, oh yay.
So
Yeah.
some of the things to watch for, they said, were signs like decreased activity, loss of appetite,
Yeah.
or aggressive sleeping.
Mhm.
Excessive sleeping, I'm sorry, see?
Yes.
Aggressive.
I'm so
Maybe I
good
should
at
have
it.
English teachers.
Brett,
was the-
would you help us?
and so forth.
Right.
So,
Experiment.
and I'll post these online and so that you guys know. But there are different things. Consider your dog's personality or your cat's personality. It's all it's like humans.
And I think they know if the other pet is sick,
Mhm.
you know, they live together. They know something's
Before
wrong.
us,
Yeah.
sometimes
Right.
before us.
You know, we've
Right.
had people bring in the healthy
There's
pet.
no single right answer.
100%.
Mhm.
We've had people bring in the healthy dog or healthy cat because they feel, the owners feel
Mhm.
that it's right for them to say goodbye to their
Right,
buddy,
at the time
their
of
pal.
Right.
at the time
You
of
know,
euthanasia, as
whether
they're doing it the
whether
same.
that's right or wrong, we've had clients take home the body of the patient that was euthanized, so that the pet, the siblings at home can say goodbye,
Right.
and then they might call Faithful to pick
Right.
them up from the house, or they might take them down to Faithful for cremation from there.
Right.
Again, every pet, grieves differently, and I don't think there's a right answer to that.
I think a lot of people don't realize that they actually grieve.
Right.
That
right.
they do.
Right.
And cats hide their everything from
Yes.
from everybody.
Yes.
So, but cats grieve, and we actually saw that. And I'm gonna. Can I have you switch out with
Absolutely.
Brett for a
Absolutely.
second?
Absolutely.
Or, I don't care.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter
matter.
to me.
Come sit down. So,
Okay, Brett. This
So
is Brett.
this is Brett. Brett,
This is
what's your name? Your
Brett
first-
Brett
Stowell.
Stowell.
Brett Stowell, and you're with Faithful Companion.
Yep.
Give me a brief description of what Faithful Companion is.
Yeah, so Faithful Companions, a pet cremation service,
Mhm.
and we partner with a bunch of different veterinary hospitals, but we
Mhm.
help families care for their loved ones after they've had a loss. And, so with the veterinary hospitals, like Veterinary United, for example, we've partnered with them.
Many years.
Yeah, we've known them forever. As long as I've been around, which is almost 9 years now.
Right. Well,
and-
Dr.
and
B has
longer.
worked with him actually with the Santu family, another family-run
Mhm.
business, since the inception of pet cremation, right? Because they worked on it
Well,
together. When he knew the dad.
Yep, with our family business. And
Correct.
how it got
Correct.
started.
They were.
Are you
friends
part of the
before.
family business for
I'm
this?
not personally part of the family.
Oh,
no,
it was a
but
family
but it is a
business to
family-owned
start it?
business. Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
still
Right.
is. Yep.
So what do you do there?
So I'm their business development manager. So I work with all the different hospitals in the Metro Detroit area, and there's other business development
Right.
managers or account managers like me in the different locations. We have a little over 12, all through Michigan down to Florida. And so I just build those relationships with the hospitals that work with us, and then also talk to hospitals that aren't using our services to explain the differences on what we do in comparison to other pet cremation companies and just the level of care that we're providing to people.
That's awesome. So now I know that there are there's veterinarians all over the state.
Mhm.
There's outside of Veterinarian United. Why Veterinarian United?
So we've known, like Irene was just saying, forever. And
Forever, yeah.
Mhm.
so
Like the relationship
Yep.
started with Dr. and Mrs. Bangstall
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
Joe's dad.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, and Sherry, you've been around for what, 30 years? I haven't been around that long. Were they? Did Dr. B know them like when were used to be human cremation also, and
Oh, they did.
Yep. So
yes, that's what it
Oh,
started,
okay.
right? The
yeah,
grandfather.
they started off as
Uh-huh.
a human cremation company. And
Oh, okay.
kind of the way it evolved was working with different funeral directors out in the area, they had one funeral director particularly that his pet was getting to be 18 years old, and he said, you know, I know what the vet clinic does, and I would really rather Peanut doesn't end up in a plastic bag.
I have a Peanut.
I'm sorry.
I have
Yes,
it. No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
she's at home kicking around.
But,
She's
you know,
like 14 years old.
I know she's ancient.
yeah, so a lot of families are unaware of kind of what takes place behind the scenes a lot of times. So that funeral
Right.
director, just being in that industry, kind of had that forethought to think, what's
Do
gonna
they still
happen.
do humans?
So the family, their cousins still handle
Oh, so
yep,
there's
the
like
human side of
different
business, but we
sides.
Yep.
Oh,
So
okay.
we handled it for many
Well,
years.
that's
but-
awesome. So I'm going to tell a story now because this guy blew me and Steve away. Okay. Because when Lily passed away, you brought Lily to our house. You brought Simba to our house. You brought Sparty to our house. And so I'm going to tell you, Steve, I'm going to switch with you because I want you to explain the feeling you had when he showed up. Come right here.
You go over there.
Well, it was a day I was dreading because Lily was coming home, and I was standing at the back room looking out the door, and they had said that they were on their way with her. And I really didn't expect much. I was just really nervous. And a nice looking, not rusted out minivan pulls up, and a guy gets out in a suit and tie, and he comes up and he presents me with my Lily.
Oh.
And it just added such
Dignity.
dignity and just a touch of class and a sense of she wasn't just an animal. And it really meant a lot to me, and it still does. And it was something that really made a lot of it a lot easier.
I'm going to tell you, that happened with Sparty and with Simba as well. So when people, you do offer that service to drop them off, right?
Yeah.
I can't guarantee you they'll be in a suit because I think you were actually going somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that
Yeah.
much anymore. But
Right, but I can't guarantee
They're
they will.
usually like how Brett is
Okay.
dressed now.
Similar to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Dress
know,
slacks and a polo.
yes.
just like-
But I am going to tell you, when they showed up and they had the bag, and I have some of it because Irene's,
Squishy's cousin, who my Squish, my granddaughter, second granddaughter.
they can't hear you.
My first
Come
four-legged. Okay,
Yeah,
here, I'll stand here with you.
okay.
My, as a personal, for me, I have a 14-year-old two-legged granddaughter in California, but this was my four-legged granddaughter, that was my youngest daughter's, and I lost, her name was Squish, 3 months ago, I believe it is, something on that order. So just last week now, Squish lost her cousin, Hugs.
And this is Hugs.
And this is Hugs'
Right
remains.
here.
I didn't think to bring Squish, but actually Squish is at Al's house, so it's kind of far. Anyway, so on just a family, personal, you'll never know how I feel, and I'll never know how you feel, but we have a similarity, heartbreak, because these are our families, our babies.
So
And so this is Squishy's cousin.
Hugs right here.
Hugs.
And as you can see the box. But so does it,
Excuse me.
tell me how somebody would go about contacting you,
Oh, yeah.
and how, if you have packages, if you have just how it works.
Yeah. First of all, Steve, thank you very much for sharing that story, and it was really wonderful to meet both of you
It
through.
made all
through
the
Lily.
difference. I was dreading the
Yeah.
person pulling up, and I was just standing in the door watching, and it was just so dignified. It just really made it better.
Yep. Well, I'm glad we were able to help you.
Yeah.
So with our service, if you were in need of, using our service, unfortunately, because your pet's passing, then of course we work with the veterinary hospitals, and so a lot of those veterinary hospitals will partner with us, and they'll care for you in that moment in the room, and they will go through our options, and they can kind of act as that liaison to our service, which is really wonderful because folks like Irene and Sherry are there to be right by your side and by your pet's side. And they'll contact us, and we can kind of handle everything from that point. But families are always welcome to reach out to us directly. They can call us over the phone if they're not at the veterinary hospital. If their pet passes at home, then
That's what I was going to ask you next. What's the process?
Well,
If-
and that happened to me.
That happened to you?
That
Okay.
happened
See
to
if you want
me.
to switch with.
On
No,
her
go
own.
ahead.
One second. I do want to say
Okay.
one
One
thing.
second. I'm going to have you switch, but he wants to say
And that's
something.
that when they brought her home, I took her out of a little box.
Okay, yeah, I was going to get to that.
Pulled in the little bag of ashes, and Simba, who has since passed away, was looking at me. So he was laying in the sun in the front door, and I put the box down on the ground, and I opened up the box with a little bag of ashes in it, and he immediately knew who she was. He
Started rubbing
He
it.
started rubbing his face
Yeah, he saw
on
over
either
it.
side of the bag,
And
He
just
started
laid down and went to sleep.
rolling on his back, and just
Literally.
He
He
knew
did.
it was her.
Yeah, you sent
Yeah.
me that video. It was
It was her.
fabulous. Yeah, I was like, wow,
I know.
wow,
No,
it was
no.
amazing. Your turn. We're gonna go into that. Oh, sorry.
We're playing rotating scenes.
Cheers.
So tell me, okay, so a pet passes away at home. You wake up in the morning or something, and you
Yeah.
find
Yeah,
them.
so I unfortunately had this happen a year ago on my birthday. And my Theo passed away unexpectedly at home. I immediately called Irene.
I had just
In
said
tears.
happy birthday. I had called her and said happy birthday. I
Right.
was singing and
They
then
can't hear you.
I said I had called her and said happy birthday. I was singing happy birthday and we hung up and then it was like 10 minutes later.
I called
She
her and
was-
told her what happened.
I was so surprised.
And I was like, "Can you call Faithful
I
for me?" And
we did everything.
So what?
same thing. The guys
Yeah.
came out, and me being a technician, they were like, "We can put them in the, it's a box that they put them in." And I'm like, "Nope, I'll do it."
And it's never easier, even though you do
No.
deal with it on
No.
a daily basis. It's never easier.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the young gentleman, I'm like, "I'll help carry him out to the van," and he's like, "You don't have to." I'm like, "Nope, I do."
Yes.
And he's like, "Okay."
So, a
um,
question for the two of you: what should they not do if the pet passes at home?
there's not really.
I mean, can you bury them?
You have
It
to
depends
ask
on your-
ordinances. Your city
your city.
ordinances.
Okay, so I wouldn't suggest that because it's hard to tell
Yes.
sometimes. So, call Faithful Companion,
They may know. Or just call your city.
Call
or just call your city and
Yeah.
find out the process that you
Yeah.
can do it.
Call your vet.
Mhm.
But I mean, Faithful. I can't say enough about Faithful, and that's why we've used them for so many years. Being in the field for as long as I have, I've seen many different things throughout the years with different crematoriums. Faithful, by far, is the best out there, and the staff that they employ is top notch, and that was part of the family background. Who's to say your pet, your faithful companion, is not any more loved than somebody else's mom? And that was, what the Santo family, that was their feelings behind starting the pet, crematorium, and they instilled that in their employees. And I'll tell you what, I think we've had one bad guy, and I talked to Brad, and that was handled. But honestly, any questions, any concerns, Brett, Ashley, the whole team, Carly in the office,
Yeah.
they're on it, they're getting it handled,
It doesn't happen again.
right.
If there's an issue or
Yeah.
whatever. That's only once
Yeah.
if that happens.
Yeah.
You never know.
We're very lucky to have the team that we have, and just like
100%.
you guys, being in the industry, it's because you love animals and you care for people, and we're very lucky that our driver team and all of our reception staff, all our operators, everybody is. It's a tough job to do, and
It is.
It's you really wouldn't be doing it unless you cared for people and cared for animals. And that's the thing is when you go to a family's home, it's just being there for people, like you had mentioned, being in the room for people. It's helping them through the hardest time as a pet owner. And I've had many special moments in families' homes where, one particularly that comes to mind is I did a pickup at a family's home that did the euthanasia in their front lawn, And it was mom, dad, and their 2 high school age daughters and a middle school age son.
What do you mean they did the euthanasia in the
So
lawn?
like a mobile
If they
vet.
want to do
Oh, the
a
mobile
vet-
vet would
yeah,
do that
mobile
right
vet,
there.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I
So-
never even thought of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
so-
the homes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so this could take place anywhere, but anyway, I went to go meet the family, and I was chatting with them, and I think the pet's name was Tank, and so we were, meeting Tank, and I was just...
Dog.
Yep. Yeah.
Big
And,
dog,
so
probably.
we were just petting Tank, and I was getting to just chat with them and learn a little bit about Tank, ask them some questions and stuff, and then eventually the girls went inside because I think they just weren't prepared to be there for the rest, and so the son stayed out though. But at that moment, we had that box that Sherry was talking about, and there's a little bedding on the inside of it, and families can decorate the outside of it and whatnot. But I just let them know, hey, it's time to place Tank in, and
Right.
if you want to help me, then the dad and the son had helped me place Tank in the casket, and at that point, then I just asked the son, like, if there's anything you want to send with Tank, you're more than welcome to, get anything. And he kind of was confused at first, and the mom was like, well, you play fetch with him all the time. Do you want to go get one of his tennis balls? And so the kid ran off and got a tennis ball. And then, I just said, if there's anything else you want to send with him, then, you're more than welcome to. And once again, he's kind of like lost, but his mom's like, you chewed on your socks all the time? You want to give him one of your socks? And the
That is
kid like
awesome.
rips his shoe off and gets a little sweaty sock and puts it in there.
Have a
with him.
special blanket.
But
That is awesome.
Yeah.
it's just
Yes.
sweet that
But
people can do those little things.
a
Absolutely.
favorite toy, a favorite blanket. Some people want to keep that for themselves, which is again no right or wrong. Some people would prefer it go with,
Or you take half and half.
you could do that
Absolutely.
too, 100%.
Right.
So, can you dispel some myths for me?
I'll try.
Okay. So, how can we guarantee? We be guaranteed, or feel comfortable enough to know that the ashes
Yeah.
we receive back
Trust, yeah.
For sure.
are actual trust? Thank you.
Trust.
How can we trust that the ashes that are given back to us are actually our animals?
Yeah, so that's a big question that a lot of families
Yes.
have. So I spend a lot of my time training hospitals so they can talk on that point. And the main thing is, several things, but we're a family-owned business. We have a background in human death care, and we did handle human cremation for
Right.
the past. So that's a lot of the things that I'll say to tell a family. In the same way we handle those human cremations is the same exact way and process that we handle the pet cremations.
Okay.
So,
The
yep, and so with
Because I
our
know some of the cities they'll do mass.
yeah, and so I'll touch on that in a moment.
Okay.
But with our service, one of those nice things too is as soon as your pet passes, the hospital or the family can contact us. We'll come out right away and bring that pet into our care. The cremation actually takes place that night, and then we actually have the pet ready to come home to the family the following day. Yeah, and
Yes.
what you were next
Usually
going to-
24, 48 hour.
It was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever gone over
Almost had a
48
power-
hours.
power
you
outage.
know.
Oh yeah. There
Yes,
was
Well,
that.
yes,
weather
there
didn't
are.
happen. Lost
You
that.
know.
So,
Yep.
and then what I was referring to, you were about to say?
Yep, and then there's a tracking system that also takes place.
Yeah.
So when the pet or family member gets to our facility, there's a coin that gets assigned to that family member or pet. That follows them throughout the entire process. But then additionally, our facility is open to the public. So if a family's ever got a concern and they never want to leave their pet's side, we actually have 2 rooms available where families can come and witness the cremation take place.
And Irene and I have both been there.
Any time of
it's
day and night?
Well, they just moved. I haven't been to the
I was
new
gonna say,
place,
where are you
but
at?
it's beautiful.
Right, and we can go in any time. That
You need
us
to get
as
closer to
I'm
this.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm coming
If you
behind
want them
you.
to hear
I'm coming
you.
in. I'm coming in behind you. Okay, sorry. Anyway, Sherry and I know me personally because I want to know in my heart that what I'm telling you is the absolute truth, and that I would take which I do, take my own guys there. Like I said, Sherry and I we go any time of the day or night. I personally don't have to make an appointment, which is great because that's how you develop that trust. It's not, you go into, not in the
But
cremation business.
every other person has to make an appointment? Or can you walk in?
Families can just show up unannounced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just wanna
but
make
sure.
I'm just
Call
as a
ahead.
business,
Yeah.
so that I have that confidence too,
Right.
that I can say, oh, I've been there at 10 o'clock at night, or whether it's dropping something off for myself, or just I had to go get something or whatever. I can honestly say it's not like everybody scatters. They open the door and say, "Oh, hi, Irene, how you doing?" You know, it's there's no fear. There's such confidence, and which gives me the confidence in that I can truly say. And I've watched also. I watched for a couple of days. You remember I was there.
Yep, you got your Coke and you sat there.
I sat there and I watched. I watched the production. I knew
Answered every one
exactly,
of
and
my
I knew
questions.
exactly what they did and how they did it. And it was. I can honestly, truly say that when it's the one in and it's called a private cremation, that's all that is going in that particular chamber, and from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, you guys had asked me earlier to elaborate on that a little bit.
Right.
So with our service, what we do is either communal cremation, which is where when a family chooses not to have their pet back home. And so with that, we do bring their pet back to our facility, and that pet's cremated with several other pets. And then the remains actually get buried out at Whispering Pines Pet Cemetery for our Michigan
I was
location.
wondering.
Yep. So, and families can go out there.
Where is that?
It's in Ypsilanti.
In Ypsilanti.
Yep. And then our other option is the private cremation option, where it is your pet and only your pet within the cremation unit, and that's the only way we would handle it, just like we do on the human side. What Irene was just explaining is sometimes it can be confusing for families with what's being offered, because this might be their first time experiencing something like this. So with pet cremation in the industry, there's 3 different types. There's communal, which is what we do, and then there's another one that's called individual. But to a family or to you guys at home, you might be thinking individual, okay, is that just my pet? But what might happen is that pet goes in with several other pets, and it might be like Buddy in the back left, Misty in the back right.
Oh, say they know where they
and
are.
several
now.
others.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's
Okay.
not by itself. It's
No,
not
no.
a private per
Yeah.
se.
No, I see what you're
Right.
saying.
So there's.
But it's
still
also
could be
not
mixing.
just throw them all in and.
No, it's not a community.
No, yeah. And so
Yeah.
with that process, commingling can occur, and there's nothing wrong with that process.
No.
It's done all over the nation.
Right.
But with us and how we feel.
That was me.
What was that?
It was a fish.
Yep.
Oh,
He was.
okay.
He was swimming.
Yep. So, but with us and how we feel, families' wishes are is that they would like to have it be their pet, and only their pet that is cremated at that point in time.
So what's the price range? Don't give me prices, just the price range, like from bottom to top.
Walk in. Let's
Yeah,
say walk
so
in because they have individual.
Yep.
Yeah, walk in.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if a family brought their pet directly to our facility, we would charge $275 in our Michigan location. And then if we went out to a family's home to take their pet into our care, then we would charge $345.
Oh, that's still not bad. Not for end of life. I mean, have you seen what a human costs?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Right?
Not that it's a bad thing, but I'm a firm believer in this. I mean, because we all unfortunately have our death cabinets at home. That both have people and pets in them, or at least mine does.
I don't have people
I don't
yet.
have people like mine either.
Steve's parents are in there, as well as all of our cats.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because I had all these questions, and what you said just answered every single one of them, which is perfect. Which is perfect. And
We know our stuff.
That's right.
So behind me, so let me ask you all this question, because this is one of the things that I get asked a lot whenever I lose a pet. When are you getting a new one? Okay, so
When the time is right.
when the time is right, because there's no, I mean,
There
some
is
people
no-
get them the next day, some people wait a year.
They've gone
right?
out. I just talked to somebody who went. Their poor
Immediately.
little their poor little critter at home was so sad, and he went out and immediately got another one. I mean, the same day. I said, "Good for you."
And
I
then-
look at it as they opened their heart.
Absolutely.
To another one. It's a kind of a cool thing that their other one did to help them.
So you guys offer the pet paws and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was going to show all this stuff in a second.
yeah. Okay. Then I won't cut into it. But,
But
yeah,
you do offer that.
Yeah. There's different.
Okay,
ones.
I just want to make sure that it's offered out to walk-ins as well as to
yeah.
people.
Yeah,
who-
so it's always available for families if they wanted to get a paw print or ink print. People get jewelry or glass art items that
Yeah.
include
Different
yeah,
urns.
different urns.
Right.
Oh yeah, and
There's
we
a-
have some behind me. We're going to show you all of that before. So, but the main thing is what people should and should not do when somebody loses a pet. I'm going to go through and tell me what you guys think. Can you hold that?
Absolutely.
I'm afraid I'll knock over one of your $300 urns.
Oh, well, those
back.
are just specialty things that we happen to have.
So things that. Oh wait, what's this? You answered those too. Yep. Look at that. All these questions I had for him, he answered them. That's good. Private, individual. Look at that. It's almost like I printed it off their site. No, but I didn't. Okay. Things you shouldn't say to somebody who loses a pet.
I know how you feel.
Oh,
that's the
just
the
get over
classic.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get over it. It's
It was
only
only
a
a
dog.
pet.
That's it right there. It's only a dog. It's only a pet.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No.
No.
And I don't care who you are. It's not only a pet.
Right.
Nope.
It may technically, English-wise, be a pet or whatever, or I'm sorry, by law be a pet, but it's everything to us.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have
And
pets?
sometimes that's
I do.
generational. Sometimes
My
that's
my girl is right here.
Did you infuse it in?
So no,
Oh,
but
okay.
so this is a paw print design that I've liked, and so my tattoo artist incorporated her name, so it's Ella. I lost her 2 years ago, and so that's my memorial for my heart girl.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Is that the one that died at home?
No,
No,
that
okay.
that was Theo. That was my one of my English bulldogs, old English bulldogs.
Somebody wrote, "My pets are my kids,"
Right?
That's right.
and my
100%.
kids are my pets.
That's
Right? I probably have more pictures of my dogs
I
on
love that.
my phone reel
Yeah.
than my daughter. She'll tell you Ella was the favorite child. I won't confirm or deny that.
There are
That's
days,
funny.
right?
Some of the others, don't try to fix the problem
You
Right.
can't
or give
fix
pep
anything.
talks.
No,
Right.
you
Don't
can't.
give pep talks.
No. Just sometimes just be a
Logic.
friend.
Logic is not comforting during a loss.
No. There is no logic. And,
No.
and you're not crazy. How's that one? You're not mentally ill. You are heartbroken.
Right?
And it takes energy and work to get through it. You know, remember you always have to kind of look backwards and remember and cry and trust me, I've done it. Cry, scream, yell, holler. Why did you take this away from me? I need it now. But you know what I mean? It's you go through all those emotions and then you get it out, you get it through, and you calm yourself, and then you go the next. Whether it's an hour, a day, a minute, doesn't matter.
Right?
You know, they're
This one I
It
thought was
takes
interesting.
work.
It does take work. This one I thought was interesting. Sharing your own experience of loss can minimize the person's loss.
yes, because okay, here, my
Mhm.
classic. Oh, wait a minute.
So I don't know. I kind of disagree on
But
that.
again, that's sympathy
If it
or
happens
empathy.
right away,
It's sympathy. No, but remember
Just not
that's.
in the camera.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I don't care. I can yell.
So people can see you.
It's okay. I got a big mouth. Anyway, that's sympathy. Different than empathy is supporting them. Supporting that other person, and that's empathy. You're feeling for them. Right?
I think it's the way you say it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can share your experience with empathy.
You can, but there is a right time.
Right. If your pet just passed away, you
Right.
don't need to hear about somebody else's pet passing away.
Right.
Because then you're taking the
That's-
focus off.
Correct.
It kind of goes back into what we were saying when you said, "I know how you feel."
Right.
A lot of times it goes, "I know how you feel. I lost my pet,"
And,
Exactly.
and
Right.
so it might just not
Yeah.
be the right moment
Right.
to
Right.
share that. And like
Down
Irene
the
said-
road, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can. You know it.
And every family deals with this differently too. So
Correct.
like, you
Yeah.
might say that to one family, and they would really appreciate that they
Whereas
have that
another one
shared
doesn't.
connection with you,
Mhm.
and that you do understand.
Right.
Right.
But then another family might take it the wrong way and go the opposite direction. So
Exactly.
it's just
Right.
it's a sensitive thing to navigate, and you know the best thing
That's
to do
a great
is
word. Navigate. I like
you
that.
know
Yeah.
just be there for them, and you know
Just be a friend.
be a
Yep.
friend, be
Right.
a shoulder to lean
You don't
on
have to
and
say
talk to
anything
them.
sometimes.
So this one I believe in and I don't believe in because I don't think time can heal. Time teaches. It teaches you how to live without.
It,
It
right,
does not
teaches-
heal you.
No, you'll
Right.
never heal. You
So,
never.
um,
There's always that special.
Right. I learned that early, of course, because of
Yes,
the loss
because
of
of
my
your
family.
family.
Yep. But give it time. Time will teach you how to live with the hole in your heart. But the one thing, the next one, and you cannot replace that pet.
No.
You can replace that pet as much as you can replace a child.
Right.
You cannot do that.
Right.
They're individuals.
Absolutely.
Okay, so when somebody says to you, "Oh,
Your heart just gets bigger.
yes, your heart gets bigger."
Right.
But things you can do is let them know that you're thinking of them and their pet.
Right.
So whenever you refer to them, mention their
And
pet.
talk about it. Don't be afraid. Everybody's afraid to
Right.
talk about death. Unfortunately, in our society, you think about other countries, they might not talk about pets as much, but people and just
Right.
death in general, they do celebrate it more. It's not feared.
No.
Here it's more feared.
Yeah.
Oh, and we shouldn't talk that such and such is,
Right.
lost this, that, the other thing. No, people actually like to talk about it, and
Right.
when
Exactly.
they're addressing.
My own opinion, don't go out and buy somebody a pet.
Okay, that was
Oh my
that's a big
God.
one. Okay, that's a
That's
big one, and that's what I'm going to talk
happened,
about
yes.
behind me. Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
Let me get through these last three, and then we're going to go to that.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so validate their grief without diminishing their emotion.
Correct.
Correct.
Because it's an animal, it does not make it any easier.
Right.
If it's sometimes
100%.
it's even
It's
Harder.
Sometimes
Tougher.
harder. Right.
you can bring them meals and run errands because grief is debilitating and sometimes you just need to lay there and cry.
And cry, or
Right.
just go to sleep.
Yeah.
That is your that is your body's and your brain's
Yeah.
way of needing to rest.
So offer to bring them food just like you would if a human passed away in their
Right.
life. Listen to them without analyzing them, criticizing, or judging them.
Correct.
And you can hear that in your voice when you say it, even though you try to
Oh.
hide it. You can hear it in your voice when
Oh,
you're just
absolutely. Your
100%.
body language.
Right.
100%.
So you touched on a thing, and one of the reasons I do this, and people are probably like, "You're a vintage antique store. Why are you doing that?" Blah 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 blah. Right? Well, first of all, I love pets. I grew up with them. I love them, and as you can see behind me, I'm going to step up. Can I step right there for a minute?
Absolutely.
As you can see
And I'll get
right
it.
here, I have several different types of animals here that you can see. It's not just dogs and cats because pets are any living, breathing animal that you can have. And you know, even I follow somebody online who's in another country who has a puma.
Yep.
I wouldn't recommend.
No,
However,
I had beaver.
he's had it since it was born, and it's like a big cat, and it's so much fun to watch. But don't do it here because it's illegal. And so, rabbits, frogs, birds, and Faithful Companion will do any type of
Yeah.
most types of animals,
No,
right?
I mean we don't
You
do
take-
cows. They don't
Well,
do
that's why I said
farm
most.
animals.
Yeah, we've taken care of anything
Oh, you're
from
fine.
beta fish or spiders,
Right.
tarantulas, cats, dogs, mice. You know,
Right.
all
Now,
that,
do you have a line like
Yeah, it's
horses, any large?
like mini ponies, alpacas, llamas.
Stuff
we can
like
take
that.
care of. And then pigs and goats, and so those are about the large animal.
The large animal.
Usual,
Yeah.
Because just because it's not a dog or a cat does not mean you can't fall in love with it because you can.
Oh,
I know
heavens
people
no.
who have a
horses.
cow
30,
and
yeah.
a puma, and
Horses.
you know.
Rats.
Rats.
Yep.
Rats.
Yeah,
Lots
oh,
of
yeah.
rats.
Actually, I know many people who have rats.
I-
Janice, are you watching?
Squirrels.
This is what you want to buy them, not a real animal.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you come into your local vintage or antique store, Time Warp, or you go into anywhere because if they had a dog and you know how much they loved a dog, then maybe you get them a figurine that looks like their dog.
And a nice card.
And
It
a
says-
nice card,
yeah,
something
and
like that,
something
because
from your heart.
you should never replace
Never.
a living, breathing thing with another living, breathing thing if you're not that person.
Right.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yes, because they may not be ready. It's not when you're ready, it's when they're ready. So let them buy it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, look at this. Here we have paw prints. I'm going to put this up here.
This is Hugs, and
This
you
is
can show.
Hugs.
We can open it and show
Yeah.
them the tag. That
Look at this. Now,
follows.
Faithful Companion did this, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
That would
Yeah.
be
This
done
is
by one of
hot.
our team.
Look, it's got a dog. It's got the little bone in it.
Birdie little-
Isn't that the cutest thing in the
Can
world?
you grab Hugs?
Little bone in it. Now,
I want-
if they brought you something like maybe
you can show
the
them the inside.
the tag,
You don't have to
Yeah.
be
Could you
afraid
put it
to
in?
open it.
We
Right.
would certainly try if that was
do
the family's
something to
wish.
that
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, they
like
do
the metal
fabulous.
tags,
Mhm.
yeah, if they brought that
Tails.
for us, we could.
So you've got, and we have ornaments. I think 2 ornaments for Lily.
Mhm.
I think we got, but yeah, isn't that? I mean, something to have.
And so you can follow the tag. This is what you don't have to be afraid to open the,
No,
the
because
wooden
it is-
card. And this
Yeah, okay,
shows
good.
you.
Do you mind?
No, this is
Okay.
no. It's okay.
The tag. This is what he wore, right?
This
No,
is this is
that's the
Oh, that's
identification
the
tag.
identification
That's that
tag.
track.
that's
The
follows
identification tag is here.
Right. So this
Mhm.
follows from the moment Hugs went in there, or Sparty, or
Mm-hmm.
Squish, or any of ours. You know, anybody's. That tag just like in a human, never leaves its position with the
Yep, stays.
with the pet, and then comes.
Yep. And like Steve said, Simba rubbed, laid down next to Lily. Cats and dogs have crazy ability to smell. That's why they can
Yes.
find drugs. That's why they can find those. So they can still smell them
In some way, absolutely.
in some way or form.
Yeah, they must.
I mean, they must.
they must
Right?
absolutely.
I would say from your experience,
Yeah,
you know,
'cause
very possible.
I don't know how much scent is left after a cremation, but he picked it up.
Somehow he was
Somehow he
moving
picked it
around.
up. So, but that's why, you've got the bag. Comes with all these little. I'm sorry.
Nope, you're fine.
Yes,
It comes with like information. Rainbow Bridge. Is this from you or
This is from
Yep.
that's their
That's-
private
yeah.
package.
Yep,
Yeah.
so that would be the Rainbow Bridge bookmark, which is a very wonderful poem after you've lost a pet. Very
Right.
hard poem to read, but it's
It
very
is.
helpful. And
But I am also a firm believer that animals are going to be there when I go away
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
as well. Some people think they go somewhere else and they,
Nope.
No, if they
I'm
go
sorry.
to heaven, they get their.
I'm not going to
wings.
run around someplace for fun and enjoy it if there's not an animal running
Right,
around
right.
it.
That's
Right.
or mine.
Yeah.
So these are
Absolutely.
really cool. So they get this information.
Yeah, so then it's one of our brochures, which is
Mhm.
the family just needs a little time to learn about us,
Right.
in that moment.
This is where that goes, the group cremation.
Yep, well, and that's a sympathy card.
Mhm.
And so this is, let's see here. So
I thought that was
Yep.
the.
so this is a little,
Oh,
maybe
that's
newer
new.
to you. Yeah.
That one's new. Okay,
So
I'm sorry.
It's just a sympathy card, so it has kind of a fairly generic statement. A lot of times we don't know the families individually, but it
Mhm.
has a link that goes to our website, and we have a memorials page there. And families can post a picture of their pet and write a little message. A
Oh.
lot of times people
Kind of like a
write-
funeral home would have.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
going to start
Yeah.
that at each
Are
of our
you?
clinics.
Oh,
Yes,
awesome.
That's our goal.
And
Oh,
then-
that's cool.
And then the last thing is just that blue booklet, which is a
Mhm.
grief support guide. So this is kind
Just
of something-
informational
Right.
things,
Yep.
that, like I said, you're not crazy.
No.
Whatever you feel is what
Yeah.
you feel, and don't let anybody else tell you not to feel it,
Uh-huh.
because that's how we get through each day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And obviously in our clinics, they'll call,
Mhm.
let's say Sherry or one of the team, and even if it's like they're just having a hard time, I will then call them back and say,
Mhm.
okay, what's going on? How you doing? Just today, not tomorrow,
Right.
because we don't know what tomorrow's going to be. You don't know how you feel, but sometimes just talking as a friend,
Right.
as a companion to a person,
Mm-hmm.
and that just it just helps. I know when I call Sherry all the time and cry.
She's sitting right here behind
Yeah,
me.
that's
I'm hiding.
or I might, talk to Brett or
Right.
one of the doctors or whatever. They're a friend,
Exactly.
and sometimes that's what you need.
Well, and our practice group is lucky to have Irene and Fran, and they make phone calls for all of our hospitals to check on our clients. The support group or guide that Brett has, so they service many vet hospitals besides Vet United, and so that's something nice that they can give for
Kind of like a
clients
general,
outside of our reach.
general knowledge.
That-
Oh, of course, you,
you know,
use any vet that called you.
Yeah,
Right.
for a family that's going through
Right.
it
Right.
alone,
Right.
they might not have somebody they're comfortable talking with. Then this is something that's great for them to kind of be able to go through. But that's the really unique part with Veterinary United and practices that they have. Just they're one group that has really taken a focus on the entire life of the pet.
Yes.
And
Right.
through the end of their life. And so, them doing that and having you guys be able to follow up with families and see how they're doing and just checking on them
If
is
they
a
want
really
something
wonderful
special.
thing. And
Well,
yeah.
it's not all playing with puppies and kittens.
No,
and
but
we,
then-
we take end of life very seriously, and it's almost more important than the playing with puppies and kittens at the beginning of their life.
Everything that's great also has a flip side.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And
The
so-
deeper you
and
love,
that's
the
what makes
harder
it
is to lose
That's what
it.
makes it great.
Right.
You
right.
you can't have fantastic things without going through a storm to get there.
Absolutely.
So, tell me about the memorial again.
It is October the 27th,
Mhm.
and even if there are, people out there, we have kind of a limited space. That's why that's
Mhm.
important for the QR
But
code.
you're virtual too, right?
We are going to be virtual this year.
Yeah.
And also let your children.
Let 'em
It's
grieve.
important to have your
Let 'em
children
talk about them.
they can be there. I have a picture of my daughter with Squish and the 2-year-old
Right.
and the 4-year-old when they had to say goodbye.
Well, I think
And
that's important to teach them about
You,
life
if you
and
don't
death.
start here, they're not going to know it when they're in their teens.
And I think that pets are part of the training or
It-
part of the
That's
learning
their,
process.
usually their first
that
loss.
Right.
why we have pets is to teach us
Right.
of the evolution of life.
And little children they call it dosing, where they're kind of run in, ask a few questions, and then they're gone playing on the swings.
Right.
And then they'll come back and back and
Mhm.
forth, back and forth.
Right.
But when we told Emerson, she just turned 5, but she was still 4 at the time, that my daughter had to go somewhere, the family had to go somewhere for the weekend before we euthanized her, that maybe Squish is not going to be alive when you come home.
So
And
as
so
professionals,
I told her,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm just
Mhm.
saying, and she just sat
Right.
down there and she sat down and sang Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And it was like, that was her way
right.
of kind of saying goodbye. And it was it was
She needed it.
gut wrenching. But that was her emotion
Exactly.
Right.
at that moment, and it was important. And
Right.
I support her, but it rips your heart out.
So I have 3 people
100%.
here. I have 3 people here who deal with this on a daily basis.
Correct.
Do you think it's important that when a household pet passes, that regardless of the age of the child, that you tell that child the truth?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you suggest that as professionals?
As a mom.
Well, I know
as
you're
a,
a mom too,
as a
and
parent,
moms as well.
where parents.
Instead of saying, "Oh, they went to the farm,"
I'm going to tell
or,
you,
do you know what I mean?
I grew up.
Mhm.
My pets. Okay, everyone, whether it was a hermit crab
Right.
or a guinea pig, went to the farm. And I will tell you,
Where is this farm?
I know, right?
Everywhere.
I want to go there and
Right.
play.
Honest,
It's
every
across the
farm,
Rainbow Bridge.
honest,
Right?
every
There you go.
farm I
Right.
passed,
Right.
I'm looking for my pet.
Right.
All my life.
We'll all move to the farm.
Yes, really.
Yes.
Funny farm maybe, but the first farm, really the first funeral that I went to was my own mother's.
Uh-huh.
And because I'm going to be 70, okay, so I'm older generation,
Mhm.
and that's how my parents thought the best thing
I'm
to
sorry,
raise
but
me.
70 is not older anymore.
I
Have
know.
you seen, have
But
you seen
again,
Dolly Parton?
I know. Again,
Come
I wish
on.
I could be.
Or Jane Fonda?
Oh, I
Come
know,
on.
I wish.
84? She
I
looks
know.
like she's 20.
I know.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying is that
Good
that was a
plastic
generation of how they felt best
Right.
to bring you up.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're going to shield them,
Mhm.
but then, my own mother, when I was 19.
But then you have a hard time dealing with the actual death of
Right.
somebody. who
yeah.
is,
You know, when
yeah,
when I realized
human.
when it was bad, when it, because even then I had to bury emotions then.
Right.
When I will be totally honest, I was one of those people that you probably heard me screaming bloody murder and
Mhm.
crying and everything 2 weeks before I got married. I had to euthanize our poodle. She was
Right.
like 17 years old,
Mhm.
and who sat with my mother all while she was, dying,
Right.
and all of through the
Ew.
cancers
Mhm.
and everything. It was 2 weeks before I got married, and my mom wasn't there for all that kind of
Right.
stuff. And at that time, all I could do was hand her over
Right.
to the vet. That's what they did.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where it came from, because that's not normally me. It came from my toes. And I was surprised Ron still married me. Now that was 45 years ago, but I was one. I don't know where it came
Yeah.
from. It was one of those suck it down,
Right.
don't deal with it,
Mhm.
don't deal with it, hide everything, and then it bit me.
Right.
So I understand
Mhm.
those things, and I just understand how those feelings can just creep up on you
Oh, they
when we
can.
don't deal when
Absolutely.
we haven't gone through,
Absolutely.
worked through it.
So the memorial is Sunday, October 27th.
From
Could
2
you-
to
From
4.
2 to 4. Can they still send in pictures? Are you guys done
Within
with
the next
that?
couple days, because
Okay.
we're trying to get we have to kind of nail it down now.
Okay. But
Um,
you can come.
Yes, but
And
please,
we recommend
have
that
kids,
you...
have kids. Your kids are welcome.
Yes, and
I'm
come.
gonna
We
look
need
at
the
it,
more
talk to
people, the better. Because
I just want people who need it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right.
If you
we,
feel, I
if
don't
you
care
had a
if
pet,
you're
you need it.
right, but again,
In my
everybody
mind.
deals with this in their own way, and
They
that's
do.
okay. If you just, you want to share your story, that's
Exactly.
cool. I think that's
So if you
You're
just lost a
welcome.
pet, I don't know if I'd recommend it because it will just be.
you
I
can,
mean,
you're
some
welcome.
people are, but
It's okay. It's okay.
I couldn't.
It's okay.
I'd have to wait. You
But
know what I
again,
mean?
other people, there's
Exactly.
others that can't, or they want that support. Maybe that
Right.
they only have one person in their life, or that was their person.
Right.
That was it, and they have nobody else to talk to
Mm-hmm. Right.
because everybody else in their family thinks they're nuts. It's only a dog, right?
No.
No, I know, but I'm just saying their family
Right. Absolutely.
is maybe
Right.
saying that to them.
This is what kills me. You buy food for your dog and cat. Buy your pets. You buy food for your family.
Yep.
You take your pet to the hospital, the veterinary clinic,
Yep.
just like you do your family to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You buy them toys like you do your kids.
Lots
You
of them.
buy them clothes. A lot of people buy them clothes like you do your
Yes,
You
kids.
go to daycare.
You go
Yeah.
to daycare.
Walks.
That's
you,
right.
you,
Take them
you
to
put
the
them in a,
store.
You take them on vacation.
Yeah.
You get a
You
pup
board
cup
them with
at the drive-thru.
friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Starbucks. They get
So
a
you
pup
spend
cup.
all this time, and I don't know how many hundreds of dollars I've spent buying cat toys when they only like the boxes. But
Yeah.
we do all of that just like we do for our kids and our families.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, your pet is as much a part of your family as the living, breathing human beings in your family.
Right.
And I am a testament to say, a lot of times the pets are actually better to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
and I've heard that many a time.
you know what I mean? For like,
No.
and I'm talking more distant family, but they're better to deal with.
Right, right.
Because you don't have to deal with them. They love you no matter what.
That's right. And I've heard many a time, like Sherry has, this was harder than losing my mother or my
Well, it
father
can
or
be.
whatever. But I'm just saying, that was their emotion and sharing that
Right.
with us
Right.
because
Well,
of the
Your
relationship.
pet is by your side.
Right.
Your mom you love, your dad
Oh,
you
yeah. They
love,
come with
you.
baggage.
But not just that, but you're not spending every single minute of your
Right.
time with them.
Right, right.
When you're an adult, you're spending every minute of your time
With
with,
your
your
critter.
pets
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
or your kids. But so it can
Absolutely.
slice a little like sharper.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
you mentioned something before we came on air, and I just want to touch on it.
What's that?
You were asking about if the family doesn't want to stay with their
Yes.
pets through.
You see that online, and
You're not a bad
there's
person.
good and bad to that.
Right.
You're not a bad
So-
person.
From my standpoint, my opinion, there's no right or wrong with that.
No.
There's no judgment. Not everybody wants that to be their last memory.
Right.
And that's okay.
Mhm.
You know, don't feel that you're abandoning your pet at the vet because you can't handle it or you can't be there.
Right.
That's our job.
Because they will be there.
We'll be there to give them hugs and kisses and
Mm.
chocolate bars
Yep.
and ice cream and everything they're not ever supposed
Right.
to have.
We
We're giving it
keep
to
ice
them.
cream in the freezer. We keep chocolate, peanut butter.
Yeah.
In
So
for
it's actually probably nicer than if you
We don't
they
judge.
get all the food and fun
We
stuff.
don't
Right.
judge.
we do
just
that
know-
with the owners as well.
Right, right.
But
Just know that everything you see online, and a lot of these questions I've been asking Brett with Faithful and with Veterinarian United is things I saw on the internet, like shaming somebody for not being there with their pet. No,
No.
when Simba died, I was there for a minute, and then before they injected, I had to leave. I couldn't do it. But with Sparty and Lily, I stayed.
Mhm.
So it's just a matter of how you feel at the time and stuff
There's
like
no
that.
right or wrong.
But I know
That's
for
it.
a fact, outside of the fact that Steve stayed with Simba, that the nurse who was there was holding Simba.
100%.
Do you know?
100%.
So don't pay attention to what you see. The cat may be looking around, but they're going to be looking in the eyes
Most
of
of the
somebody
time
who
they're
cares.
they're sedated.
Yeah, they get
They
sedated
get
first.
sedated
Yes.
first.
But
Yes.
so just don't believe everything you read online.
Right.
Please don't.
And
And
come
don't
in.
feel guilty.
No,
Yeah,
don't.
Not at all.
Do you have anything you want to say before?
I could not.
Come up.
I could not be there for them.
Right?
Steve sat there and
Every
held
day of
every
their-
one of the
every day of their
cats.
lives, I told them I'd be there with them till the end. So there's no way I could not.
No, and we will be there till the end with the other 3 that we have.
Absolutely.
So
And I think that's the majority of people feel that way. But
Right.
there are some people that want to wait till they're sedated and then they want to leave.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That there is no
we
judgment.
all handle death and grief in our own ways.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Whether it's an animal or a human, we do it in our own ways. But the one thing I do have to say, do not buy them a pet. You come in, you buy a figurine for them.
100%.
You
Something
can,
they
I
can
made
look
a
at.
wreath around one. I had
Right.
a little dog,
They
and
even
for a
have-
client, I made a little wreath, and they, in this particular case, they were burying them in a pet cemetery, and I went to their
Right.
little funeral and talked on their at their funeral, and I made this wreath with the little.
So
Little dog.
there's different sites you can go to and get like replicas
Yeah.
of your cat
Yeah.
and dog. We one of our employees bought us a pillow of Simba that was of a picture of him. It actually just looked like him, and we sat it out. And Sparty, I thought Sparty was going to have a heart attack because Sparty was so thankful. And then we put Simba out, and Sparty just raised his back and was
It's like, oh my
Oh,
God,
that-
you're back.
"Where did you come
He wouldn't
from?"
walk by that doorway.
He wouldn't walk by the door at all.
Oh,
So
he was now the alpha male.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
he was happy, and he saw him, and that was the end of that.
Oh, my God,
I'm gonna
he's
tell you.
back.
So I want to give you guys a big thank you. We went over a little bit. That's okay. We're talking about your pets. We're talking about the people
Yes, thanks, Brett.
we're
They do.
talking about the
They do.
humans your pets own, because that's what it is.
Right.
I don't care how much money you drop for a pet. That pet is actually, you're paying for that pet to have you.
Yeah.
So especially if it's a cat.
Yeah.
But Brett, thank you. Faithful Companion, and
Yep.
give me a website.
Faithfulcompanion.com.
faithfulcompanion.com, and you can see him and meet him because he will be at the memorial as well.
Yes.
Irene,
Sherry.
Sherry, thank you so much from
Thanks for
You're
having
Veterinarian
welcome. I
United.
appreciate you.
Any chance you know your vets, like where they're located?
Oh gosh.
I know one's in Berkeley. I know several
Yep.
are right here.
So we have one down in Adrian, Michigan.
Mhm.
We have a couple in Lansing. All southeastern
St. Clair Shores.
Michigan. So a couple
Mucci,
here
right
in
across the street from you
Yeah.
is one of ours.
Thompson, Macomb Center,
the
Parkway,
Kitty Clinic.
Kitty Clinic.
Animal Hospital Chesterfield.
Yeah, Berkeley Animal Hospital.
Macomb
Yeah.
Center Veterinary Hospital.
Yeah.
Also affordable.
Affordable Veterinary
Affordable.
Care Center.
Yeah, which I know is Jasmine's.
I'd say most areas anywhere in the Metro Detroit area, and up to Flint and out to Lansing.
In Flint,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Flint.
Down to Adrian, you'd be able to be near a Veterinary United house.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you know that your pets are in great care and great hands if you are part of the Veterinarian United
Right.
community. But I'm sure they are in others as well.
Oh, yeah.
And if something happens, give Faithful Companion a call
Right.
because I'm
Or
going
if
to tell you
you're
right now.
through one of our clinics, we will
Yep.
help you. We will
Absolutely.
guide you. We will do it all for you, and then it's in good hands.
Absolutely. Now I know a lot of my followers live out of state, and I'm sure that there are
They have
faithful.
other states.
They
You,
are.
are you
They
in
are.
other
Yep.
states?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Are you in
So-
California?
We are not out in California. We're pretty much between Michigan and Florida.
Oh, okay, so Midwest
and about
type
a dozen
down.
different metropolitan areas.
Okay, so if you're in one of the states that drop from here to Florida, give Faithful Companion a call. California, West Coast, East Coast, there are Faithful Companion type
Right.
companies. I
Oh,
hope
there are pet cremation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pet cremations.
Yes.
But do your research and
Right.
talk to your veterinarian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk to your vet. That's all you need to do is
Talk to your veterinarian.
I'm sure they have lovely places.
Absolutely. And I am so sorry about Hugs.
Oh, thank you. And we know we
And I
love
know
Sparty.
Squishy. We knew Squishy.
Yeah, Squishy was
We knew
Squishy's my
Squishy.
girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Um,
and our Theo, you know, and our Ella. I knew Ella. That's when I first met you.
Yep.
Ella was a little girl.
I'm going to tell you who I think of a lot and pops up on my Facebook because, you know, memories pop up on your Facebook. Siobhan.
Oh no, Chiffon.
Siobhan.
Chiffon, yes, I have her. She's in that one of these little specialty urns.
Uh-huh.
She's just still at Parkway. I have her up just on a little shelf. I say hi
So-
when I'm there.
And Chiffon was Simba's
Oh, you would know.
to
Oh, I'd have to look
Was it
back
her-
at their.
Yes.
I don't
Sisters.
know,
That's
or
what they told
sister or
us.
something.
that they were
I'm
siblings.
not sure. I'm not. I don't. She would know better than me the lineage.
Sparty,
Anyways.
Sparty was an only.
Yeah,
I don't remember on Simba.
we're going back some time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Lily Pants was the beginning, wasn't
yeah.
she? That was a Canadian
Yeah.
mom. That
well,
was
she had some
Vanellope.
litters.
Lily Pants had one.
Had one litter because I have the picture of her.
Yeah.
Right, she had
Yeah.
one, and they didn't make it. But that was that was vanilla beans. Kid.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
we're
And
over, so I'm
split.
gonna let you guys go.
Sorry.
Hug your pets, kiss them, love them, because unfortunately they don't have the lifespan that we have. So, you know what? Spend all the time you can, because I know Steve and I, we sit there and regret certain things when we think back. But you know what? I shouldn't say regret, because I've never said I regret anything I do.
No,
Right.
I learned
we do
from
the
everything.
Best we can.
Right.
We would have done some things different, possibly.
We all would have.
But you know what? That's part of grieving.
That
Yes,
is, it is.
it
We
is.
always think back, oh, I should have done this, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? You deserve rest and peace also. We don't know everything.
No,
you know,
because
about
shoulda, coulda,
it.
woulda, I'd have been a billionaire.
Me too.
Right.
Me too.
Right.
There's many things. Maybe I should have seen something. I remember, I you know, when Beef passed away, it was like I'm telling her, you know, that was the squirrel, and talking about I got a brand new Cuisinart. You
Every
know,
time
it's
we look
like,
over
that
there,
was
there's
it.
another something following this woman around.
Yeah.
I looked over there one day, and she was walking down the sidewalk to her side door, and there was a bunch of little ducks following behind her.
But her ducks are never in a row.
No, my ducks are never in a row.
So, anyways, thank you guys so much, and
Thank
we could
you.
go on and on because we're talking about pets, but we will let you
Right.
go. Thank you guys, and we will
Thank
see
you.
you guys
Thank
later.
you.
I do want
We
to
look
So,
say.
go
forward
ahead.
to seeing you.
I do want to say that both the aftercare through Faithful Companion and the actual event were cathartic for me. I still have trouble talking about Lily passing. I tear up now, but being
And
there that day
I'm going to
with
tell
that
you,
whole
every
room
time
full of
something
people,
happens,
being
we're
there
on the
with
phone
that
to
day with
Irene.
that whole room of people
okay.
who are all going through the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seemed to normalize it in a way that I felt like I wasn't the only one.
Right.
And it really helped, and that was 5-7 years ago.
Already?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a week before the marriage.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
So,
7 years.
That's right. It was a week
you know
before
what's
you guys
funny?
got married. Wow.
One more thing, and then we go. We're just going
Sorry, guys.
I lost my family when I was young to a drunk
Yes,
driver. We all know,
yes.
you know that. And the one thing that, I mean, that happened. I grieved my parents. I grieved my brothers.
Yes.
But do you know that we had a dog, Sugi?
Oh.
We had 2 cats. One was named Percy, and one was, I cannot remember the other one. We had a pet tarantula. Do you know I've never seen those animals again? So, if something traumatic happens in your life to somebody else or to yourself, make sure you take the time to find out what happened with the pets, because I ended up in the hospital for over 3 months, and I can't
Yeah.
tell you what happened to my pets.
Sorry.
And I think about them every day, just like I think about my family. So when a traumatic event happens, somebody secure the pets.
Yes. Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's something we think about.
Right.
Sure. Sure.
Because when something happens that is out of your control, it just happens.
Right. Right. And
Nobody
everybody's
ever
trying
goes
to
back
help
home.
the best they can.
The
At that.
humans.
Yes.
Yes.
They're
Which
doing
is
the
what you wanna
best they
do.
can. Right.
But there are animals. Now, I'm sure nobody went and helped the spider, but still.
Somebody did.
Right. So anyways, love your pets, and goodbye, good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.